All right, welcome back to yet again another episode of the Upgrade My Rituals podcast. My name is Kevin McKellar, the host of the show, and this, of course, is the show for people that are looking to become that much more productive through a system of daily routines. So when they go to sleep at night, that their head hits that pillow, they feel really good about what they accomplished that day and where they're headed on a holistic standpoint in their life. Their career, their family, their friends, their hobbies, finances, whatever it may be. And what we're going to talk about today is this system of daily routines called ritual design that sometimes needs to be reassessed. And as you can see, this has been a hot minute since I put out an episode for a few different reasons. But one of the reasons is because this comes after the parts of my ritual design. Creating content for you guys, unfortunately, is lower on the priority list before working out, before meditating and, meal prepping and whatever it is. So I come first. Content for this business comes after, right? Sorry. But that is the only way I know I can produce good content. So with that being said, what we're going to talk about today is kind of how you might want to reassess your ritual design if you may need to or may not need to. So first we have to decide if why you are failing at executing your ritual design is something that is systemic with you or your the lack of establishing a habit with executing the design, and or it may be a situation where something has changed in your life, which is my situation. So let's get into it. I'll kind of run you through what's going on with me, and then we can kind of use that as an example. So for the longest time, I used to have, it was like a barbell, right? I'd really have really heavy, a really, really intense morning routine, a really, really heavy, intense night routine, and then my before work and after work were kind of just little things here and there. 5 months ago, as of yesterday, the kiddo came along, right? Baby Quinn came along, and everything has been amazing. Everything has been just so special. Every single day is like, like that's the whole day. Even diapers. It's like, it's just a little bit of a different eyebrow. But super exciting, but super different. Everything is different. And it's not so much that there's I can't have a routine. It's that I have to figure out what my whole ritual design now looks like because it's just that much different. The bigger problem is that I will have to reassess this on a much more frequent basis because right now she's 5 months. She's just about to start crawling and different things like that. So we're kind of still, she's in one spot. We kind of, right? And, she's sleeping really well. So I know pretty much either way, I know in a few months it's going to look very different, right? Just her schedule is going to be different. Therefore, our schedule is going to be different. So with that being said, what I fell into was a trap that I have not fallen into in years. And when I say years, I'm going to guess around 2016. I'll say 17 just to be nice about it. I'm pretty sure I have not snoozed, and I'm not saying this to brag at all. I'm just saying that this used to be a huge problem of mine. But since 2017, I have not snoozed or hit the snooze button once, ever. Right? On a day that I've set my alarm, like on the weekends, I just kind of let myself wake up. But on weekdays, when I set my alarm, I've never, since about 2017, never hit that snooze button once. And I was really happy with that because what happens is that if you hit the snooze button, but you plan on not to, then your whole AM routine is all screwed up. But it's such a powerful psychological thing that's happening because the very first decision you're making during the day is you're saying, it's time to go. And like, okay, the alarm went off. My decision is to get up and get cracking on my day, right? Other than the opposite of that is like this decision is like, I'm going to procrastinate. And that sets a very subconscious tone, but very powerful tone for the rest of the day, where it's like, whatever. So, 2017, I nipped that in the bud. It was like, I'm done with snoozing, never again, and I never did it again. One of the biggest reasons why I never did that again was because of my ehhmm routine. I was able to lock that into place. It took a few months to try to figure it out. It took, because I was really fighting my chronotype. I was waking up a little bit earlier than I really should have been. Either way, I locked it in and I never did it again. Guess what? The last couple of months, I started snoozing, and it was like, what is going on, right? Like, what's happening? And the only reason why was because we're lack of sleep. My kiddo's sleeping great. We're getting great sleep. Because Ashley, the way we set up our mornings is that Ashley was actually waking up a little bit earlier than I was. And what happened was I realized that one of the powerful facets of me not hitting snooze, at least agents for me to not hit snooze, was because if I did hit snooze and Ashley was still sleeping and she kind of woke up from the alarm but realized I went back to sleep, she'd be a little upset, and rightfully so. I mean, that would be annoying, right? Like if I'm gonna have to wake up from your alarm, it better only be once. But now we switched it where she started getting up before me, just her work schedule, and I started snoozing because I could, and I was like, oh my God, this is terrible, right? Now this stems from a little bit of a deeper issue. So that's the tactical reason why I was snoozing. The other more deeper level of why I was snoozing was because I wasn't, my willpower was pretty drained in the first couple of months. So the first couple of months we had Quinn, it was a very intense process. Anybody who has a kid, knows that. It's a very intense thing. And that we were not sleeping well. First month was pretty rough. So I drained my willpower, and I set those bad habits within my routine of, say, not snoozing or just kind of here and there missing workouts and just kind of being lazy with my timing of my ehhmm routine. It was really intense. So what I had to do was I said, okay, let's reassess. Let's start from scratch. And for instance, in the ritual design planner, every week there's a new spot to redo your ritual design. So one week I was like, okay, let's just start from scratch. So let's look at what we were doing. Let's take all the elements that I want to do. Let's look at my domains, look at my goals, and figure out what do my new routines want to look like. Now, they're very similar, but they're a little bit spread out, right? So instead of having a really intense morning routine, I took a couple of those things and I put them in my before work and after work. So my before work, that's where I do I review my planner just for the day, just check up on it, and then I do the gratitude section in the planner, where I would have done that in the morning routine. In my after work routine is actually when I meditate. Just because the morning I can't get it in. Something has to go, and that's what I chose to kind of move, because I wanted to put that in an area of the day where I needed a recharge. And at the end of the day, when I'm working full time and watching Quinn full time, when Ashley comes home from work, I need a reset. So that's when I meditate. And so it's a little bit more evenly spread, and I think it's much more powerful for me that way. It's much more beneficial for me that way. But the whole reason I tell you this today is because this reassessment of my ritual design was not because I was doing it all along and then I just fell off, or just got lazy, or my intentions changed, and something very external happened in my life. We had a baby, right? Everything kind of changed, but those things that changed were so branched off from the root of that. It was so many different, and we have to really look at why these things were changing. So now that I've kind of reassessed that, I've replanned my ritual design. It's going well. It's definitely going well. So definitely need to tweak it. It's nowhere near as rock solid as it used to be the last few years. So we'll definitely get there, but that's the beauty of this process, right? We always have to evolve with your life. Your life will always be changing. You'll have external events. You'll have internal events in your life happen. For the last, it was probably a 5 month period where I wasn't doing any of this back in 2020. So with that being said, my question to you today is, if you do have to reassess your ritual design, you have to first ask yourself, what is the root of the issues? Why do I need to reassess this in the first place? Is it because something has happened externally in my life? Something has happened to me in, the grand scheme is my child, or has something happened internally to me, or a combination of both, right? My child was born, therefore schedule has changed and my willpower was drained, therefore leading into some bad habits, therefore a degrading of my ritual design. So it's a very complicated thing. So you have to figure out kind of what is the root cause of this situation. And then when you do your reassessment, just take it easy. Don't be hard on yourself. That is one thing I've learned very recently in my life, that sometimes we are just as high performers and overachievers, we're sometimes way too hard on ourselves. If you're moving forward, you're perfect. You're doing great. That's all you need to be doing, is moving forward. At sometimes your rate of forward motion will be faster than other times in your life. But as long as you are moving forward just an inch every single day or every single week, whatever it is, that is all you need to worry about, because like I said, sometimes it'll fluctuate. If you're moving backwards, that's the time to say, okay, what's happening here? And that's exactly what we're talking about today. So if your ritual design is not going as well as you thought it would, take a minute, breathe, and look at it. See what you need to change, delete, add, whatever it may be, and go easy on yourself. So with that being said, that is my conversation today about my reassessment of my ritual design. And I'm looking forward to, I want to do some here and there more episodes with the kiddo and possibly maybe even bring her on. We'll see. I haven't decided about that yet. And just kind of talk to you about productivity with a child, because I think it brings in a whole new not level of productivity. It brings a whole new definition of the word, and not how you may think. It's just different. That's all I can say. So, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. If you like today's episode, please leave a review on iTunes or wherever you're listening to. That would really help the algorithm and have more people find the show. If you're watching this, please hit the bell icon and subscribe to the channel so you can be notified of the next video. And that is it, folks. I will see you next week on the Upgrade My Rituals podcast.